Hey everyone, this is Model Realm here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2 Miles Morales. The painting of this figure is amazing. This is a re-release slash repaint of the Miles Morales figure that was released in 2020 to coincide the release of the Spider-Man Miles Morales game that came out of the same year. His new design is from the new game that comes out October 20th this year, which sports a similar design but with more red accents. Now this design follows similar details to that original mold, but it's slightly altered for his appearance in Spider-Man 2. For example, the painting on the arms is different than the original version, with an all-new red streak following the arms, alongside the hands being painted slightly differently. And the only other change I've noticed is the painting of the soles on the boot. Other than that, the figure still consists of a really good paint job in my opinion. My only gripe with it is it's not the same colours as the advertised image. You see, Miles' costume in the video game, in this one and the previous one, have both vibrant reds in them. The problem is, both figures follow the same error. The reds aren't vibrant. They're very dulled down and very darkened, which blends in when you've got certain lightings blasting on the figure. Now it does work as a contrast colour by all means, but it's not as bright as it should be, and I don't really know why they didn't make it that way. But, colour nitpicking aside, the paint is actually really good on this figure. It extends all the way into the torso, which means when you arc the figure backwards, the paint still carries on. And the back logo is really clean. My only gripe with it is the same gripe I had with the original figure, which is that the back logo doesn't fully extend when you bend the figure over, it just kind of stops. But that's not really a big issue. Most of the times when you're posing or displaying your figure, it's going to be facing forward, so it's not really a big complaint. So, that was the paint of the figure, which overall I rate that a 9 out of 10. It was close to perfection, but they chose the wrong shade of red. Now, you're probably wondering, how does the action figure feel? Well, I'm here to tell you as a stop motion animator that this figure is fun as hell to animate with. You have a ball joint at the head that can look up that far, and down that far. Limited range on the butterfly joints as this is a smaller figure, however it actually serves Miles really well. At no point did I feel hindered by the articulation from these joints when I was posing and animating this figure, which as a stop motion animator it's quite important to not be hindered by certain elements. I don't know how many times I've handled Marvel Legends and some of them have just not animated well. It's too many. The arms move out that far. The biceps can do a full 360-degree turn, which is very good for posing if you want to get him in slightly uncomfortable looking poses. He has a double jointed elbow, which is very good for posability. The wrist can move down that far and up that far, and they can do the full 360 spin. The same rule applies to the other arm. Both arms can move all the way around like that, which is amazing for such a small figure. He can bend back that far and forward that far. A full 360 spin on the waist swivel. His legs move forward that far, but they don't move backwards the same amount. But both legs have double joints in them. Both feet are on a pivot, and both legs can do a 360 spin at the thigh swivel. So overall, this figure is really fun to pose with. I was animating a lot throughout this entire video, just testing the waters with him, as his joints were slightly tight, but within about an hour of testing him out, his joints instantly loosened up and became really, really nice to mess about with. So if you're a stop motion animator like me, I'd highly recommend this figure. It's a blast to animate with. Now let's move on to his accessories. The figure almost comes with the same amount of accessories. Now the reason why I add the word almost is because the original figure came with the unmasked head of Miles, and this one came with a cat. He has your standard wall crawling hands for when you want to pose him up against a building, thwipping hands for when you want to beat up your local symbiote, or if you want to casually swing around a skyscraper. punching hands for beating up criminals, obviously, or when Miles and Peter need to train.
Hey.
And of course, he comes with his bioelectric hands, just like the previous one, although these ones are moulded in a blue instead of the yellow that they were cast before. And he comes with a cat. Yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter. You can't do much with this. So, that's all the accessories, which, surprisingly, for a Spider-Man figure in this day and age, is quite a lot. And it feels weird saying that, because it should be mandatory that every Spider-Man figure comes with wall-crawling hands, fists, and the thwippers, but a lot of them don't even come with like a full set. And here we have Miles compared to the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man figure, which is an amazing figure, and I absolutely love to death, and these figures scale really well. I like the fact that they didn't make Miles like really small, but at the same time they didn't make him overly big. He fits perfectly even with figures outside of his own continuity. So if you wanted to, you could have this suit design with your comic book display, or if you wanted to, you could probably put this with your MCU display and he probably wouldn't look out of place. Here we have Miles next to the Marvel Legends movie 2018 Venom figure. That's a mouthful. And these two scale really well. I'd love for them to release, when Spider-Man 2 comes out for the PlayStation, for them to either do a brand new figure for the Venom design from that game, or re-release this body mold with the paint decos from that game. Because I really do like this body mold for Venom, and it'd be a shame for it to be kind of locked away after 2 uses. So hopefully we get to see it again, but who knows. Speaking of figures I'd love to see redone in the Insomniac design is the Marvel Legends Retro Collection series Symbiote Spider-Man. I would love them to do a symbiote version of the Insomniac suit. I think it would fit really well in an MCU collection because of how kind of detailed the suit is. I won't gush into too much detail over that until we get a lot more pictures of it, but I really do like that suit, and I do hope we get a figure for it, just like we got a figure for the Advanced suit from this game, but they did kind of drop the ball with that figure. I'll get into that on a later date. So, overall, I absolutely love this figure. If you didn't pick up the original one, then this is definitely a must buy, but if you do have the original one, I wouldn't recommend it. You're better off just customizing the original one to look like the one from the new game. But other than that, this figure on its own is incredible. I love the slight change that they did to the Bioelectric Hands. I know that that's a weird thing to say, but I just like the blue more than the yellow. I think the yellow looks good, but I really like the blue. But that's personal taste. So, overall, I give this figure a solid 9 out of 10. The only drawback being they did get that red slightly wrong. But it's fine. I can easily customize it, and I'll probably make a video showing me customize that. But until then, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please share your thoughts down in the comments below, and please make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Farewell everyone.